Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, I do want to apologize for the constant airplane sounds you're going to be hearing. It never stops, so it never stops. Yeah, I'm just going to stop waiting. Okay, so if you're new here, well, even if you're not new here, I just realized I never introduced myself. My name is Templo. I make hair, lifestyle, fashion, whatever I'm feeling that day type of video. So if you're interested, please subscribe, come back and just learn a little bit more about my life. Yeah. Today I wanted to give some information on my Ptosis surgery journey. And I'm doing this because I realize next month is going to be an official year since I've had corrective surgery, and I just wanted to give some information on it, just state how the process was. There has been a little bit of like weird information going around because God, what is her name? Jada Wada, I guess, had Ptosis surgery as well, and some people are thinking it's a blepharoplasty, and it is not. Those are two vastly different things. A blepharoplasty is more, I guess, for aesthetics. They pull the skin up and show more of your eyelid space. Ptosis surgery, they're actually pulling up the muscle. So they're pulling up the muscle to match the other one. It's not the same thing. Yes, they both do require a plastic surgeon. I'm going to include a bunch of pictures and some videos that I have just so you guys see what I'm talking about and get a good understanding of what my journey was like and what even led me to consider this. Ptosis is a drooping of your eyelid, and there are two types. So there is congenital ptosis or acquired ptosis. Congenital ptosis you are born with. Acquired ptosis happens. It could be like a traumatic event, or for me, I have no idea what happened. I did have acquired ptosis. I was not born with it. My eyes were fine for majority of my life, and then randomly one day I looked in the mirror and one eyelid was lower than the other. And I tried like a lot of things to try to pull it back up or get it to look even. And most people said they really couldn't notice it. But I guess since it was my face, it was all I saw when I looked in the mirror. And I mean, at the time I would look on like YouTube and stuff like that and found like eyelid tape, which is, I guess, really big in Asian cultures. But I used to be ordering it offline or any website I could find and Amazon, and just trying to get my pose to match. Like sometimes I would put it on this eye because there's the one that's only sticky on one side. So I would put it on this eye. But the problem with that is you could see the clear like tape, even though it was transparent. You could see the tape on this eye when I blink. Or I will, if it was double-sided, I would put it on this eye, which is the eye that was drooping. And it would just kind of stick it together and pull it up a little bit, which was fine. But there was still a little bit of like unevenness in my blinking. And then it felt weird because my eyes kind of like stuck together. There's even eyelid glue, which I still have some, so I can show you that. Ended up getting both of these to try to, anything I could do to correct what I saw as like a very glaring flaw. For some people, it is a problem where it does block your field of vision. And I guess for me, it slightly blocked my vision, but not enough to where it bothered me. I guess it mostly just looking at it. It was just glaring and I couldn't get past that. I looked very weird. I found on YouTube like some exercises that did help, but it wasn't permanent. And oh God, I tried a bunch of stuff. I used to wear I used to wear an eye patch. Like when I was alone or when I was home for a day, I would put an eye patch on this eye to try to train this other one to balance itself out. You name it. I literally tried everything I could to lift this eye. And eventually, I just realized that there was nothing I could do. This lasted for years. Eventually, I just realized there's nothing I could do. I went to the eye doctor. He told me that he didn't think that my drooping was low enough. Like, yes, it's very apparent that it is drooping, but he didn't think it was low enough for me to get surgery. So I wanted a second opinion. I asked to go and see a specialist, and they sent me to a oculoplasty surgeon. I think that's what they're called. And that doctor initially, he like ran some tests. Really, like they put these goggles on you and you have to like find dots on the screen, and they would check both eyes. And from that, it was discovered that it was blocking my field of vision. It was like my peripheral vision. It was blocking that. Yeah, I was a candidate for surgery. Oh, before I even got to the surgery, I did try one more thing. I tried like a Ptosis medicine that came out, because I guess it's a common enough occurrence that they research it. So there's this medicine that came out, and it's supposed to help lift up your eyelids. So it's called Upneek. This thing is expensive. It was, at the time, I want to say it was like almost $200 for a 90-day supply. Insurance doesn't cover it. And you do have to drop it in both eyes, because my very first time out with it, I only dropped it in the eye that was drooping, and then it lifted this eye, but then this eye felt like it was sagging. It was a very weird feeling. And it took, even when I did apply it to the second eye, about like an hour later, it took, I would say, like 2 hours before they felt even. It just felt like my eye was falling down. It was weird, but even if you only have like one eye drooping, you have to apply it to both. I did that for a year. Yeah, I tried it for a year just to see if it would work. And in the end, I just, instead of like constantly buying a box of that, I might as well pay for the surgery. If it bothered me enough, it was worth the investment. So I went back, talked to the doctor, and we scheduled the surgery. One thing I will say about the surgery is it did not take long at all. The nurse came and he measured my eyelids and made sure that like they were going to be taken in the muscle enough. And the doctor came in and literally took him less than 15 minutes. They were offering me like all these medicine, like, oh, we can give you this prescription, and it just sounded like hard painkillers. And I've never been a person who enjoys being on painkillers. Had a weird experience with it in my teens, and since then I've never taken like another, like maybe ibuprofen and Tylenol, but like none of the hard stuff, because I always felt weird. So I declined the painkillers, and I was fine. There was no extreme pain to where I needed to be sedated for, for hours on end. They also offered Valium to, I guess, relax you the day of. I did not need it. This thing took 10 minutes, if that, like 10 to 15 minutes. It was so fast, in and out. I really didn't even get a chance to see the doctor. It was under, like, I guess that's general anesthesia, where it's just the location that they're working on. That's the only place that was numbed. And within like a couple of hours. I was fine. The swelling started, I would say, maybe an hour after the surgery. That's when swelling began, and it lasted for about a week. After a week, the swelling had gone down. I just had the stitches. Stitches fell out within 2 weeks, I would say. Yeah, 2.5 weeks. All of the stitches was gone, and I was just left with a scar. And the scar was, initially it was lighter than my skin tone. And then it became darker, where it was just like a big black eye. And that lasted until very, very recently, where now my eyelids are the same color on both sides. Now, as far as scarring is concerned, I don't know if you can see this, but there is still a slight scar that goes from one end of my eyelid to the other. They did cut within my eye fold, my natural eye fold, so it's really not apparent, but I can kind of feel it. And I still take like I still use the steroid cream that they give me to try to soften that up, but I guess it takes time. Now, as far as like the progress and how I feel about the surgery, as of now, my eye folds are still not even. It's a year later. They're not even. Let me see. You see? Yeah. I don't insert pictures. They're not even, but I really don't mind it. My eyelids are. While my folds are not even, my eyelids are definitely even. And that was the goal. It does not bother me at all. And if I ever did want to like experiment with eyeshadows or anything like that, I really could still just use these. Just put these on, make my eyelids even, do whatever look I want to do, and carry on with my life. It's not serious enough to where I'm going to be like, oh, well, let me go back and get surgery. And like, I accomplished my goal, and I'm happy with that. I'm happy with how I look. I'm happy with how I see. They did quote me with insurance and without insurance, just because there was a chance that insurance was not going to pay for it because my eye wasn't drooping super far down. If insurance wasn't going to pay for it, the quote I got was like $2,000. I felt like it was worth it. I was willing to pay it. However, lucky, insurance did go ahead and cover it because, like I said, a portion of it was blocking my sight. So, yay, insurance. Okay, I keep looking down because I have my notes there, but that's pretty much it. It does not cause me any problems. I can barely feel it. I don't feel the stitches from inside my eye. I did for a little bit where it just felt a little scratchy and it would feel itchy, and that went away after maybe like a month. Yeah, so after a month, like irritation and all of that kind of went away. I see fine. I look fine. And yeah, I know you can't tell because I did my eyebrows uneven, but even my eyebrows are even now. Before, I guess my muscles was trying to lift the eyelid up. So one eyebrow was like up here and the other one was here. It was weird. But all done now, and I'm happy with my results, and it was definitely something I needed and wouldn't change a thing. I love it. Yeah, that's my video for the day. Please let me know if you have any questions, if you had a similar procedure done or were thinking about it. Let me know. If you have any questions, I will answer anything I can. Thanks for watching my channel again. Welcome if you're new, and please subscribe and leave your comments below. Bye.